the Ninth Circuit, the court that never, ever, ever disappoints. Today, we're going to be talking about what they are doing and why it kind of sucks. So let's get into it. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is John Crump, and I am nominated for a Gundy for Top 2A Writer. If you don't know, I'm also a writer, and writing is my passion. So if you would head over to thegundys.com and vote for me for Top 2A Writer, I would really, really appreciate it, especially if you're one of the other YouTubers that uses my stuff, which I love you guys using my stuff. But if you can give me a little shout out, I would definitely, definitely appreciate it. Today, we're going to be talking about what is going on in the state of California with the Banc of a ruling that said that the ammo background checks are unconstitutional. As you can see right here, this is a document that was filed today, December 1st, and it is Rhodes versus Bonta. This is the case that went to a district court, and the district court said that the ammo background checks were unconstitutional. And then it went to a three-judge panel from the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, and that three-judge panel also ruled that the law requiring background checks for ammunition was unconstitutional. When the ammo checks were struck down, you could then go ahead and get ammunition shipped directly to your house. And if you bought it from a store, you wouldn't have to go through a background check. Basically, California treated buying ammunition the same exact way as they treat buying a gun. To me, either way, you shouldn't have to go through a background check because I believe that both of those, whether they're for ammunition or firearms, is unconstitutional. But the ammo part of the law did get knocked down. Now, the full Ninth Circuit has granted an en banc hearing to the case. What en banc hearing means is the full bench will hear the case. Usually that means all 16 judges that sit on a circuit court will hear the case. California is a little bit different because California is massive. So they have a couple different benches of the Ninth Circuit. So not every judge in the Ninth Circuit will hear the case. 16 will hear this case and decide whether the law is constitutional or unconstitutional. Because an en banc was granted, that means the three-judge panel's decision has been vacated. This basically means that the circuit hearing will be a do-over, but there'll be more judges. Now, this is a bad thing for us because, as you know, the Ninth Circus, yes, I did say circus because a lot of people refer to the Ninth Circuit as the Ninth Circus, is very anti-gun. Now they are a little bit better at the gun issue than some other circuits now because they have people like Van Dyke and Nguyen on the court, but overall they're still pretty anti-gun. The Fourth Circuit is a lot worse than they are, but the Ninth is a close second. So my prediction on this is that the full bench is going to decide that the law is constitutional, and this case might be headed to the Supreme Court because after a en banc decision is rendered, the only other option a person has or a plaintiff has is to file for a writ of certiorari with the Supreme Court. That is a petition to the Supreme Court to hear the case. The Supreme Court does not necessarily have to hear the case. They can deny cert or they can grant cert. And here recently, we've been seeing more gun cases getting granted cert. So this will be definitely interesting to see whether they grant cert or not after the en banc is done. Now, the question of the day is when will they hear this case? And from what I am reading, it looks like it will be heard on March 23rd, 2026. That does not mean we will get a decision today. I strongly doubt that we will get a decision that day. What they will do is hear the case, they'll go back and write a majority opinion and say, "This is what we think," and then the dissenting judges will have an opportunity to write their dissent of to why the full bench was wrong on whatever they decide. I had a feeling that this was gonna go on Banc because just the way the ninth is. Hopefully, I will be surprised because, like I always said, no matter what I think the court will do, I can always be surprised. Anyone who tells you they know exactly what the court is going to do is full of BS because no one can be for certain what the court will do. I've seen conservative courts come out with really bad decisions on guns, and I've seen liberal courts come out with really good decision on guns. So we're just gonna have to wait and see exactly what happens in this case. But rest assured, the battle is not over. No matter how this case goes, the fight will continue. I believe that CRPA, which is one of the organizations fighting this, will keep on fighting it. And we're just going to have to see exactly how far they take it. I am sure they are already planning to take it to the Supreme Court if they lose, or if they win, I am sure California is planning on taking it to the Supreme Court. Either way, this case will reach the Supreme Court. Whether the Supreme Court grants a writ of cert for it, that is another question entirely. And I can't answer that because the Supreme Court is really, really bipolar when it comes to gun cases. Sometimes they'll take gun cases, sometimes they won't. So too long, didn't read. On March 23rd, oral arguments will take place in front of the en banc of the Ninth Circuit, the full bench, which really isn't the full bench because there's so many judges in the Ninth Circuit. But oral arguments will take place then, and then we will be in a waiting period. And that waiting period can last months before we get something back from the Ninth Circuit, where they decide whether the background checks and ammunition is constitutional or not constitutional, and that will eventually lead to a writ of certiorari by the losing party. So that's it. All right, guys, that is it. I'm back to making standalone videos instead of going live because that's what people voted for. And that's what you get every quarter. I will go ahead and put up the poll again, maybe every month. I'll have to see. But just remember, head over to thegundies.com, vote for me for top 2A writer. And also, there's a little guy named DLD After Dark that is nominated for micro influencer. And I would really, really appreciate it if you go ahead and vote for DLD After Dark at as my influencer. All right, guys, that's it. See you later. Bye.